What's up, guys? Thanks for joining me for this video. You guys know I love me some fantasy football and I love me some print on demand. So in this video, I'm going to analyze and break down a best-selling fantasy football t-shirt and really just a best-selling Amazon merch t-shirt right now. Now, of course, it's a little bit seasonal and I'm going to show you how we can evaluate those metrics so that it's a little bit of predictive analytics. We know what time of year we're most likely going to see the most sales, which, by the way, if you want to run ads leading up to that time of year, you can try to organically position yourself to capitalize on the increased demand. Just throwing that idea out there. But let's study this top listing in the fantasy football niche and see what we can take away from it. Quick reminder, take advantage of the free weekly print on demand giveaway. It takes like 10 seconds to enter and 2 winners are going to be selected. They're going to receive a license to Merch Titans Upload Automation, Merch Ninja, Research Tools, All Sunsets, Premium Premade Graphics, and Bubble Scout, the only Redbubble niche research and validation tool. You can find a link in the description to enter the giveaway. Also, while you're in the description, take advantage of my 7-day Merch by Amazon mini course. All I need is your email and I'll send you 1 lesson a day. Last but not least, I have an Amazon merch Facebook community. It might be the fastest growing Merch by Amazon Facebook community on Facebook. So if you want to join, check that out. There's a link down there. All right, so guys, by the way, I've got some great Chrome extensions. I think every single one of them that I'm going to show you is free, other than Jungle Scout actually. But I'm going to show you, I think, 4 different Chrome extensions and how and why I use them, including one new one that you see pictured behind me. Okay. And this one, and by the way, I'm going to give you the name. I'm going to put the links in the description, but I'm going to show you also why they're relevant. So this Chrome extension is called Keywords Everywhere. All right. And it basically will modify your Google search results. It doesn't like change your results. It just injects a couple things into the sidebar to give you some additional insights into your search query. Okay. So let's just say that I wanted to make a fantasy football shirt because I love fantasy football and I know that they're going to be selling really hot right now. So I can go to Google and type in fantasy football. Now they allow me to search by sort the data set by like the last 7 days, 30 days, 3 months, 12 months, 5 years, and all time. So I hit all time just to see. And you can see fantasy football spikes at the beginning typically of football season and it lasts till about the end of football season. Maybe not as long, but a little bit shorter than that. As teams get eliminated from their fantasy football playoffs. But anyways, you can see here that there's definitely some demand for fantasy football. And by the way, if you're wondering like what the TV, what do they say? Like the ratings are looking like for something like football or for whatever, you can honestly guess just by looking at the trends data from Keywords Everywhere, just by searching something on Google and then look at your sidebar, just saying. All right, so you can then say, okay, fantasy football, we've validated that it's a big trend on Google. Let's go to Amazon where we've installed the AMZ Suggestion Expander free Chrome extension and type in fantasy football into the search bar. AMZ Suggestion Expander will give you keywords before, keywords after. It's great for finding long tail keywords. So I typed in fantasy football and I noticed one of the keywords before is I suck at fantasy football. All right, that's funny. I suck at fantasy football. That seems like a pretty clever niche, sub-niche of the fantasy football parent niche. And sub-niching, guys, is the way you're going to find success when you're entering these bigger niches that you know are kind of seasonal, okay? So I go back to Google, I type in I suck at fant, and look at that, Google auto-completes it, almost as if it knows what I'm about to search. Okay, now that I've searched it, number one, we see some ads over there in the sidebar. We see one from TeePublic, and I don't recognize the other websites. But anyways, you get some ideas about how you can approach the design. But more importantly, too, behind me, you can see the trends for I suck at fantasy football. And it seems like around maybe 2016, the I suck at fantasy football / punishments for coming in last place in your league really started to become popular. Now, if you scroll down, Keywords Everywhere is giving us even more data, okay? You can see that there's related keywords, and it says fantasy football punishments, dynasty fantasy football 21 rankings. People also search for fantasy football punishments, fantasy football, dynasty fantasy football. So it's basically the same. Long tail keywords. I suck at fantasy football license plate. So apparently there's demand for license plates as well. But I just wanted to say, guys, if you're going through this with me, you want to see my thought process, make notes. You don't just need to go after the niche I suck at fantasy football, because check it out. There's related searches, fantasy football punishments. Okay, so that may be a set of keywords that you want to try to rank on with, like, you know what I mean? You can take the same shirt and try to rank on fantasy football punishments, even if your shirt says I suck at fantasy football, because we can see right here that they are related and that people are searching for basically the same two sets of keywords. Okay, so it's giving us tells, you know what I mean? If you're running ads and setting up manual ad campaigns, especially, you want to take note of stuff like this. And you can even see down here, Dynasty Fantasy Football. Now, if you don't do fantasy football, you may not know that. I don't think that's as related, but write it down as a niche, a sub-niche of fantasy football worth exploring. Okay, Dynasty Fantasy Football may have massive t-shirt potential, again, in that sub-niche. So here we go. Keywords everywhere. I will put a link to it in the description, guys, if you want to check this out. It's great just for doing keyword research and SEO research for anything, not just like merch by Amazon. You know what I mean? It's literally great for websites and anything else you're selling. All right, so T-shirt design. As I mentioned, we did a Google search, and check that out. Look at all the results that it came in with. And so if we're just making notes about what we're seeing at a high level, we don't need to stop and analyze each one. I would say that we see a lot of pink, a lot of purple, we see a lot of unicorns, and a lot of rainbows. Okay, and again, this is more or less a punishment for the last place finisher. We know that fantasy football, while it's not all males that play it, it's predominantly a male thing. So I think the use of colors that I think a lot of people would associate with being a little girly, like pink and purple, being a big part of the fantasy football losers punishment with the big bright pink t-shirts and whatnot, it makes a lot of sense. So make some notes, and boom, here we are. I go to Amazon, I do the search merch tool, and I found, there's definitely quite a few t-shirts that you can choose, but I really liked this one. I like the design. I think they check a lot of the boxes for the best practices. I like that they did something that we don't always do. Check it out. They only offer the shirt in one color. They only offer it in the color pink. So take note of that. They're not risking showing up with a thumbnail of a black t-shirt because they didn't offer it in black. They strategically only offered it in pink, and I think that's should be noted as a good strategy. All right, if we're looking at the listing SEO, to start, let's check out their title. So it says, I suck at fantasy football. Now, just stop. There's other keywords in the title, but I just wanted to say that they front-loaded the title with the most relevant keywords that they want to rank on that also coincidentally are on the t-shirt, right? They're making sense of this. This makes a lot of sense. Front-load the title with the most relevant keywords that you want to rank on that also coincidentally are in the shirt. That is like, yes, that's best practice in my mind. Then they also say unicorn, rainbow, loser, men gift. Okay, so I mean, men gift I would probably leave out, but unicorn, rainbow, loser, that makes sense. It's a little bit keyword stuffy. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. I think they could maybe clean up the title a little bit. But down here behind me, and I'm going to hide myself really quickly again, but in the bullet points, they did do a little bit of keyword stuffing. This is a little bit of an older listing that was posted to Amazon merch prior to them kind of openly saying that they're not fans of keyword stuffing. But anyways, it says, I suck at fantasy football is the perfect fantasy football loser shirt for the losers in your fantasy football league. Featuring a unicorn holding a football, this funny fantasy football loser shirt is perfect for anyone who sucks at fantasy football. So I don't think you need to do that much repetition with keywords because from an indexing perspective, it's not helping to say the same word more than once. It's not Redbubble. You know what I mean? That was a joke because Redbubble, you can tag spam the same word more than once and it actually does help. I don't know why Redbubble's engineers wrote that, but they did. And I think it's silly and Redbubble's still yet to fix it. But anyways, we're talking about Amazon. What they did do, though, with all that repetition is they're looking at sets, phrases of keywords that people are searching for that they want to rank on. So they're looking to get those phrase matches. Okay, so I suck at fantasy football. Perfect fantasy football loser shirt. Loser in your fantasy football league. Unicorn holding a football. Funny fantasy football loser shirt. Sucks at fantasy football. You see what I'm saying? Like, I didn't read the whole string of words. I just looked for the phrases. Okay, so it's okay to have some repetition. I don't know if the merch algorithm is going to actually knock you or not for keyword stuffing because I tend to avoid doing that, but at least like it hopefully is making sense that they're targeting actual search queries that people would search that this is relevant to. So I like that. All right, so profit analytics. We're going to take a peek at Jungle Scout in a second, which you do not need as a print-on-demand seller, but if you're selling Amazon FBA, it is my recommended like tool for product research and profit analytics. But anyways, we're talking about merch here, so not a big deal. This is the only Chrome extension. I'll still link to it in the description, but it's the only one that's not free. So they are selling at $17.97, which means they're currently making a royalty of $3.71 on each sale. Not bad. So in addition to that, we have the sales history here from Helium 10, and I will, of course, put a link to that in the description. You don't need to pay for it. You can just start a free account, and you will be able to see this line graph in all of your product detail pages on Amazon, showing you the historical BSR data whenever it's available. Now, what do you notice, guys, here? You notice, most likely, that it is looking quite seasonal. It looks like there is a double dip each year for this shirt, and it tends to happen right around, I know you're going to say that it's a crazy coincidence, and that's me winking, wink, wink, it's not a coincidence, that this is going to dip in BSR, indicating higher sales velocity around the start of the football season and around the end of the fantasy football season, which, while the football season ends typically the first week of February with the Super Bowl, the fantasy football season tends to end in either the last week or the second to last week of the regular season, so typically late December, early January. And what do you see? You see that the spikes in BSR, the spikes in demand in sales for this shirt coincide perfectly with the start and the end of fantasy football season, guys. So just saying, no coincidences, makes a lot of sense. And thank you to Helium 10 for showing us the seasonality of this shirt, even if we've never sold it. And here is Jungle Scout. It's just showing us some profit analytics. So at the current BSR of about 48,000 sales rank, it's projecting that this t-shirt does about 14 sales a day, 347 sales a month. That is very healthy. And again, we can project just by looking at Helium 10 that it's going to see about roughly the exact same increase in sales in around the end of December/January. So well done to whoever made this t-shirt. They followed the best practices and they're being rewarded accordingly. I also wanted to show you guys, this is why we need to keep a long-term perspective when it comes to print on demand in general, but especially, well, I shouldn't say especially Amazon, really any website. But I love how Amazon, if somebody posts a review of your shirt and they post a picture, it says reviews with images right at the top. Guys, when they do that, this increases the likelihood of a sale because people get to actually see the finished product, and it's like a vote of confidence. It's social proof from somebody who actually purchased it and was happy enough with it to post a picture. Now, I mean, there could also be a, bad review with a picture, but typically in my experience, the picture reviews tend to be happy reviews with 5 stars. So I just wanted to mention, guys, while we are not in control of the reviews of our products, we know that the longer our product is available for sale, the higher the likelihood of making more sales is, and reviews are a function of the number of sales you make. So just be thinking long-term, guys. You know what I mean? You can post a shirt. How many shirts have I highlighted on this YouTube channel where somebody posted it and then like 3 years later, all of a sudden it's selling like crazy. So you don't know when that's going to happen, but leave the door open. When you upload, it may not feel like you're uploading a winner because nobody knows that when they create the initial product listing, but then, you never know when your listing is going to turn out like this one and, amass almost 100 reviews. You've got image reviews and you're doing really well, and they're going to continue to do well for the foreseeable future. Additional hints before we wrap this video up. I did just want to show you that on the product detail page, if you scroll down, Amazon is telling us that this shirt was purchased with draft boards. Okay, so when all of the Fantasy Football League friends get together in person to do their draft and slap the stickers on the board, it's like Christmas Day for me. It's one of my favorite days of the year. People are purchasing this t-shirt to give to the last place finisher to wear at the draft. That makes a lot of sense. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, so it's telling me this shirt is being purchased with draft boards. And then I thought to myself, has anybody made a fantasy football draft board t-shirt? And then I look it up and, there's a little bit of a weird take on a draft board t-shirt. Like, I don't understand it exactly. I don't know if the person who made this t-shirt necessarily does either. But I think there's definitely potential. Like, I've sold shirts that are like fantasy football jokes about drafting kickers early or drafting defenses early, etc. So yeah, and they've sold. So I'm not getting rich off of them, but hey, they've made me some sales. So sometimes you can bring knowledge to a niche and just create simple designs, text only. You know what I mean? Even if you can't make the graphic look good, don't use it. Just do text. And you can make some additional sales, guys. So always be on the lookout for Amazon's algorithm assisting us, or using keywords everywhere, Chrome extension, AMZ suggestion expander, whatever it is, to help us find additional sub niches within a good parent niche. All right, guys, thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and consider subscribing. Before I leave you, I wanted to remind you that I wrote a full Merch by Amazon course on how I took my account from tier 10 to tier 200,000. If you would like to learn exactly how I did that, you can use the link in the description to find out more. Thank you for watching. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Please like and subscribe. Again, I know I just asked you 10 seconds ago, but I love to say that when I'm on the end screen. So thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.